Hello,
Thank you, Tom,
hello.
for being such a wonderful colleague and friend.
Is this
Thank
thing
you to the
on?
Commission for giving both of our
Is
organizations
this thing on?
the opportunity to be part of this historic event. It is a true privilege to contribute to our nation's democratic
for
process.
the audience.
And thank you all
as soon
for
as this
watching.
debate is over, if you will please remain seated, you will be shown which way to
There is an audience,
exit.
dude. What the fuck?
And please stay where you are until that happens.
This is some
I
assball.
would like to now introduce Chris Wallace,
Tom and Barbara, very
the moderator
much.
of this evening's
Most
debate.
valuable player.
Award for this evening goes to Toby Cosgrove. We couldn't have done it without you. Thank you. One housekeeping bit for the audience. As soon as this debate is
I've got
over,
this
if
thing
you
on.
please
I know
remain
this. Yo, C-SPAN, where's the mic, buddy? Where's the mic? Come on, C-SPAN. Come on, man. Yo, C-SPAN ain't got this microphone on. I cannot hear Chris Wallace. Alright, time to find a new stream. C-SPAN failed me after I've already got my hands in the bag. Unbelievable. Alright, Fox Business. They don't have the sound on it. Did my fucking speakers break? What? Are my speakers broken? Like, what is happening right now? Hold up, bud. What the hell? I had a stream on. And then all of a sudden, that shit ain't work. Alright, C-SPAN, where you at? Oh, God. CNN.
We're gonna see how does he handle that.
Oh, God. Fuck you, CNN. On Fox Business. There's no audio on Fox Business, dude. It's already a shit show. Where's the audio? Am I fucking... Yo, can someone send me a stream that's on? What? Has China infected the live broadcast? None of them have fucking audio?
In your community coming.
I'm on Washington Post.
So James Homan, if you're Joe Biden, what do you do with that?
I think you've got to just bring it back to the core theme of the whole race, you know, for him, which is restoring the soul of America.
I got salsa. I got
you know,
chips, by the way.
Biden has been
I'm chilling.
instructed to just bring it back to themes.
Bringing it back,
and
they say?
then kind of project
up?
energy that when people, you know, kind of whatever the wording is.
I don't know if y'all can hear the audio on my stream. I have it really low on purpose. But I don't want to get dinged. Alright, audio's on. Alright, bud. Ooh, mama. You know what? Hold up. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Hopefully I didn't embarrass myself with any unfortunate camera angles there. Alright, is the audio on? Is anyone moving? Hey, Smia. Yo, salsa's so good. Yo, I ran down the stairs. I was so sorry. My heartbeat is up because I ran down the stairs. I was like, yo, is this thing on? Because if so, I need to prepare myself. So, Is this thing fucking on? Oh my god. They're just like aiming the camera at nothing right now. They're just like aiming the camera at nothing. I don't know what's going on. Oh yeah, coming from Mr. Autumn Winters. It should be starting now. Like, but C-SPAN is just being bizarre. C-SPAN is being bizarre. Yeah, by the way, go to watch C-SPAN 2. That's what I'm on, apparently. I don't know why this is on C-SPAN 2, but like, C-SPAN 1, doing something more important at the moment. C-SPAN 2, they're free. They got time. Dude, C-SPAN has no fucking audio. This is, okay, I'm about to fucking freak the fuck out. Alright, CNN? CNN's got no audio!
Good evening from the
hey,
Health
bud.
Education Camp.
Come on, C-SPAN? C-SPAN, C-SPAN. Alright, CNN it is. CNN it is, baby. Going on CNN?
Vice President Joe Biden.
Fuck yes.
This debate is sponsored by the Commission on Presidential Debates. The Commission has designed the format, 6 roughly 15-minute segments,
Hello?
with 2-minute answers from each candidate to the first question, then open discussion for the rest of each segment. Both campaigns have agreed to these rules. For the record, I decided the topics and the questions in each topic. I can assure you, none of the questions has been shared with the Commission or the 2 candidates. This debate is being conducted under health and safety protocols designed by the Cleveland Clinic.
I'm on
Which
CNN?
is serving as the health security advisor to the Commission for all 4 debates. As a precaution, both campaigns have agreed that candidates
Yo, I got too much shit right
will
now.
not shake hands at the beginning of tonight's debate.
Woo!
The audience here in the hall has promised to remain silent. No cheers, no boos or
That's
other
not happening?
interruptions, so we, and more importantly you, can focus on what the candidates have to say. No noise except right now.
I'm so into this right
as
now.
we welcome the Republican nominee, President Trump.
Of course,
And the
and you
Democratic
know
nominee,
Trump.
Vice
You know
President
Trump was like,
Biden.
I gotta walk out first. Introduce me first. Oh my god, look at that motherfucker. Biden. I'm so into this right now. I'm so
Gentlemen,
into this.
A lot of people have been waiting for this night, so let's get going. Our first subject is the Supreme Court. President Trump, you nominated Amy Coney Barrett over the weekend to succeed the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the court. You say the Constitution is clear about your obligation and the Senate's to consider a nominee to the court. Vice President Biden, you say that this is an effort by the president and Republicans
I love
to jam
mugwort.
through an appointment and what you call an abuse of power. My first question to both of you tonight, why are you right in the argument you make and your opponent wrong, and where do you think
I'm so hyped.
that Justice Barrett would take the court? President Trump, in this first
That's
segment,
a
you
good
go
question.
first. 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. I will tell you very simply, we won the election. Elections have consequences. We have the Senate, we have the White House, and we have a phenomenal nominee, respected by all, top academic.
Respected by all.
Good in every way. Good
in every way.
In fact, some of her biggest endorsers are very liberal people from Notre Dame and other
Dumb
places.
people,
So I think
liberal
she's gonna be
people.
Fantastic. We have plenty of time, even if we did it after the election itself. I have a lot of time after the election, as you know. So I think that she will be outstanding. She's going to be as good as anybody that has served on that court. We really feel that. We have a professor at Notre Dame, highly respected by all, said she's the single greatest student he's ever had. He's been a professor for a long time at a great school. And we won the election, and therefore we have the right to choose her, and very few people knowingly would say otherwise. And by the way, the Democrats, they wouldn't even think about not doing it. If they had, the only difference is they'd try and do it faster. There's no way they would give it up. They had Merrick
Give it up,
Garland,
folks.
But the problem is they didn't have the election, so they were stopped. And probably that would happen in reverse also. Definitely it would happen in reverse. So we won the election, and we have the right to do it, Chris.
I can't write
President
this.
Trump, thank you. Same question to you, Vice President.
I don't want to
Biden.
get
You have
dinged,
2 minutes.
Mr. Autumn Winners. I'm trying not to get copyright dinged. Watch on CNN. Just watch on CNN.
The American people have a right to have a say who the Supreme Court nominee is. And that say occurs when they vote for a United States senators and when they vote for the President of the United States.
A United States senators.
That
A United States
we're in
senators.
the middle of an election already. The election has already started. People have already voted. And so the thing that should happen is we should wait. We should wait and see what the outcome of this election is. Because that's the only way the American people get to express their view is by who they elect as president and who they elect as vice president. Now,
I'm into this right now.
the president's made it clear he wants to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. He's been running on that, he ran on that, and he's been governing on that. He's in the Supreme Court right now trying to get rid of
Did Trump acknowledge
the Affordable Care Act.
the question about what the
Which
court would do?
will strip 20 million people
I don't think he did.
from having insurance, health insurance now, if it goes into court, and the justice, and I'm not opposed to the justice, and she seems like a very fine person.
Oh!
Before she went in the back,
Oh!
that she thinks that
Very fine
the
person.
Affordable Care Act is not constitutional.
Believe me.
The other thing that's on the court, and
Very fine person.
What happens? When
God
does
damn
things
it.
fundamentally change? Once again,
I'm so into this.
a woman could be held pay more money because she has a pre-existing condition of pregnancy. They were able to charge a woman more for the same
Biden.
procedure man.
Biden, no.
And that
No.
when we in fact
No,
passed the
please.
Affordable Care Act.
2 minutes of unfiltered Biden right now.
Conditions. And they'll be taken away.
King Pesos, watch on another outlet for me.
Insurance companies are going to love this. And so it's just not appropriate to do this before this election. If he wins the election and the Senate is Democrat or Republican, then he goes forward. If not, we should wait until February.
There aren't 100 million people with pre-existing conditions. As far as the say is concerned, the people already had their say. Okay, Justice Ginsburg said very powerfully, very strongly,
Trump fucked up. Going off the
2
teleprompter.
years ago or so, she said a president and the Senate is elected for a period of time, but a president's elected for 4 years. We're not elected for 3 years. I'm not elected for 3 years. So we have the Senate.
Oh my god.
we have
Oh
the
my god.
president
Oh my god.
To the next
During that period of time, we have an opening. I'm not elected for 3 years. I'm elected for 4 years. And the 100 million people, Joe, the 100 million people is.
I love it!
Where you got that number. The biggest
Oh!
is that you're going to extinguish 180 million people with their private health care that they're very
That's
happy
simply
with.
not true.
Well, you're certainly going to socialists. You're going to socialists.
Socialist medicine!
Open discussion.
Open discussion. Yes, I agree.
I love it. I'm so into this. I'm so sorry for being... I'm being a jackass, but I'm like really fucking fucked up right now, and I'm just having fun.
And we increase it. We do not wipe any. And one
Increase
of
it.
the debates we had with 23 of my colleagues.
I got some salsa. I got bean chips, by the way.
saying that Biden
Jalapeno bean chips.
They can. They do. They will under my proposal.
Not what you've said,
But
and it's not what
that
your
is-
party has
Oh.
said.
Simply
Your party
wrong.
doesn't say it. Your party wants to go socialist medicine.
Party is
And
me.
socialist
Right now, I am the
Socialist! Oh! I can't!
right now. The platform of the Democratic Party is what I, in fact,
Ah.
what I approve of. Now here's the deal. The deal is that it's going to wipe out pre-existing. And by the way, the 200
Here's the deal.
the 200,000 people that have died on his watch. How many of those have survived? Or they're
Biden's losing it already.
contracted COVID.
We're 10 minutes in. Biden's gone?
Going forward, if you strike down the Affordable Care Act.
Biden's gone? Hey, Bob?
300,000 military people dying because you couldn't provide them proper health care in the military. So don't tell me
I'm
about
happy
this.
to talk about.
And if you were here, you would
I love it. I
there
love it.
would be two
I love
million
it.
people because you were very late on the draw. You didn't want me to ban China, which was heavily infected. You didn't want me to
Ban China? What does that mean? Ban China? What?
You would have been much later, Joe. Much later.
Who's ban? Did China get canceled? Are we suspending their account on Twitter? Banned China? I fucking can't.
The point is that the president also is opposed to Roe v. Wade. That's on the ballot as well in the court. And so that's also at stake right now. And so the election is all
It's on the ballot. Why is it in the ballot?
Because
Why is it
you
on the
said
ballot? It's not on the ballot.
it's on the ballot in the
I
court.
don't think so.
In the court. Well,
There's nothing happening here.
I'm gonna die.
You don't know.
I'm gonna die. I'm going to fucking die.
All right, let's talk.
This is so bad!
Gentlemen, we got a lot of time. So
Holy shit! I didn't know. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready.
Roe v. Wade.
Oh my god, I wasn't ready. I wasn't fucking. This is so bad.
A week after the election in which the Trump administration, along
It's
with
so
18
fucking
states,
bad. Holy crap.
seeking to overturn Obamacare, to end Obamacare. You have spent the last
Oh, this is so bad.
If I may ask my question. Over the last 4 years, you have promised to repeal and replace Obamacare, but you have never in these 4 years come up with a plan, a comprehensive plan to replace Obamacare. Well, I'll give
Got
you
rid
an
of
op-
the
I'm
individual
gonna
mandate.
give you an
Excuse me.
opportunity.
I got rid of
Oh!
It was a
That
big
is not
chunk
a
of
comprehensive
That
plan.
is absolutely a big thing. That was
A
the
big thing. Absolutely a big thing.
worst
Not
part of
me.
Obama.
Let me ask my
Well,
question.
I'll ask Joe.
I
The
know,
individual
I-
mandate was the most unpopular aspect of Obamacare.
President.
I got rid of it.
That's true, by the way. That's true. Backing him up.
And I would like you to let me ask my question.
Oh! I'm so into this. I'm so sorry again for my behavior.
With a comprehensive plan to replace Obamacare, and just this last Thursday, you signed a largely symbolic executive order to protect people with pre-existing conditions 5 days before this debate. So my question, sir, is what is the Trump health care plan?
Well, first of all, I guess I'm debating you, not him, but not surprised.
I'm debating you, not him! Ah, that's so good!
Cutting drug prices
I'm so sorry again for screaming.
which no president has the courage to do because
I've been looking forward to this all year.
drug prices will be coming down 80 or 90%.
80 and 90. I don't remember.
In government.
47 years in government already there at the fucking talking points.
All of the things that we've done, insulin. I give you an example. Insulin. It's going to
Insulin.
be destroying families, destroying people because
Insulin.
it's so cheap. It's
I'm getting it for so cheap. It's
so cheap. Take a look at all of the drugs that represent
so cheap. It's like water. I can't. I'm so sorry. This is so good.
to buy drugs because when they pay just a tiny fraction. No, but this is big stuff.
This is big stuff! Ah! I love it. I love it.
Vice President, which is he points out that you would like to add a public option to Obamacare, and the argument that he makes. And
Oh, I love it.
is that
I love it. This is so bad. They came out of the fucking gate with garbage.
so ask you the question. It will
They came out of the gate with
It will end
the party.
and create a government takeover of health care.
You're being controlled by the party.
People who are so poor they
Fuck.
qualify for Medicaid, they can get that free in most states, except governors who want to deny people who are poor Medicaid. Anyone who qualifies for Medicare would, Medicaid would automatically be enrolled in the public
Trump's gonna
option.
get him. Trump's gonna get him.
Majority of
Oh my god.
would still not be in that option. Number
Ah!
two, with Bernie
Oh my god.
Far left on the manifesto.
Who's far left? The manifesto! I love that word.
the fact of the matter is,
Oh, the manifesto.
Not by much.
Not that!
a whole hell of a lot. I'm here standing facing
I can't. I can't. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. I can't. I can't. Oh my god.
You got
Look,
very lucky.
here's the deal.
You got very lucky.
You get very lucky tonight as well. And tonight I'm going to make sure because here's the deal. Here's the
I'm
deal.
so
The
sorry.
fact is that everything he's saying so far is simply a lie. I'm not here to call out a lie. Everybody knows
This is so good. This is so good. This is so good. I didn't think it could get this good. Holy shit.
I want to make
Mr.
sure.
President, can you let him finish?
wrong.
You picked
Oh my God.
the wrong guy, the wrong night at the wrong time.
Listen, you agreed with
Here's the
Bernie
deal.
Sanders for the
The
manifesto.
whole idea,
Let him
there is no manifesto, number
please let
one.
him speak, Mr.
Number two,
I can't.
The left.
number two,
You just lost the left. You agreed with Bernie Sanders on a plan.
I can't.
folks,
Absolutely.
folks, do you have any idea what this
I can't. I can't.
you have any
I can't.
Medicine.
I can't, dude. I can't.
He is not for
They're doing this over healthcare.
people needing
He's
help.
doing this over socialized medicine.
Because he, in fact,
Oh my fuck.
has cost 10 million people
Oh my
health
God,
care
this is
that
so
they have
good.
their employers
This is
because
so
of
good.
this recession. Number one. Number two, there are 20 million people getting health care through Obamacare.
I can't.
That he wants to take it away.
I can't, dude.
Look in the eye and say that's what he wants to do.
Look in here.
Number three,
Healthcare at a much lower price.
I'll take it. Mr. Trump, if you want to give me healthcare, I'll take it. I'm waiting, buddy.
has never done a single
Might
thing.
know, but probably don't.
Gentlemen, you realize if you're both speaking at the
As you might know, but probably don't.
Go ahead, sir.
Obamacare is no good. We made it better, and I had a choice to make very early on. We took away the individual mandate. We guaranteed pre-existing conditions, but took away
Obamacare
the individual
is not good.
mandate. Listen, this is the way it is, and that destroyed.
This is so good. This is so good.
But I had a choice to make. Do I let my people run it really well, or badly? If I run it badly, they'll probably blame him, but they'll blame me. But more importantly, I want to help people.
Oh my God.
They're running so well. And I just had a meeting with them. They said the problem is no
I
matter
just
how
had a
well
meeting.
you run Obamacare, it's a disaster. It's too expensive, premiums are too high, and it doesn't work. So we do want to get rid of it. Chris, we want to get rid of it.
I
and
understand
keep
it,
it
sir.
something
I
that's
have to
cheaper.
give you roughly equal time. Please, let the Vice President.
This is so good. This is so
Healthcare.
fucking good.
Please.
He sends out wishful thinking. He has executive orders that have no power. He hasn't lowered drug costs for anybody. He's been promising a health care plan since he got elected. He has none, like almost everything else he talks about. He does not have a plan. He doesn't have a plan. And the fact is, this man doesn't know what he's talking about.
All right.
He's
I
against
have one final question for you,
Sure.
Mr. Vice President.
Absolutely correct, Kane Yo-Yo.
Republicans, we were talking originally about the Supreme Court here. If Senate Republicans go ahead and confirm Justice Barrett, there has been talk about ending the filibuster.
Ending the filibuster. Love it.
The 9 justices there. You call this a distraction by the president, but in fact,
I love it.
wasn't brought up by the president. It was brought up by some of your Democratic colleagues in Congress.
This
So
is
my
so
question to you is,
fucking
if you
good.
have to talk about it, are you willing to tell the American people tonight whether or not you will support either ending the filibuster or packing the court?
whatever position I
Pack the court.
on the issue.
Let's do it.
The American people
Woo!
should speak. You should go out and
The
vote.
American people
You're
should
in
speak.
voting now. Vote and let your senators know how strongly you feel. Vote now. Make sure you know your senators. I'm not going to answer the question because the
That's a good point, Trump. I'm agreeing. Pack the court. Pack the court.
Who's on your list, Joe?
this is so
Pack the court. Let's go. Come on, Biden.
We have ended,
I'm waiting.
we have ended this segment. We're going to move on to the second segment.
that was really a productive segment. Keep tapping, man.
The people understand, Joe.
Keep yapping, man.
I don't think they understand.
All right. The second subject is COVID-19. It's an awfully serious subject, so
Oh my God.
let's try to be serious about it. We have had more than 7 million cases of coronavirus.
This
in
is
the
so
United States.
good.
More than 200,000 people have died. Even after we produce a vaccine, experts say that it could be months or even years before we come back to anything approaching normal. My question for both of you is, based on what you have said and done so far, and what you have
This
said
is
you
gonna
will
be-
do
this is
by
gonna be a disaster.
2021, why should the American people trust you more than your opponent to deal with this public health crisis going forward? In this case,
I got stabbed by this
question
chip.
goes to you first, sir. 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Who, sir?
Good luck. 200,000 dead. As you said, over 7 million infected in the United States. We, in fact, have
Pay attention to Trump's body language here.
4% of the world's population. 20% of the deaths. 40,000 people a day contracting COVID. In addition to that, about between 750 and 1,000 people a day are dying. When he was presented with that number, he said, it is what it is. Well, it is what it is because you are who you are. That's why it is.
What?
The president has no...
Come on, man.
He hasn't laid out any... He knew all the way back in February how serious this crisis was. He knew it was a deadly disease. What did he do? He's on tape as acknowledging he knew. He said he didn't tell us or give people...
Bring up Woodward. That's good.
Panic, you know.
That's good.
Don't panic. He panicked. In addition to that, what did he do? He went in and we were insisting that the people we have on the ground in China should be able to go to Wuhan and determine for themselves how dangerous this was. He did not even ask Xi to do that. He told us what a great job Xi was doing. He said we owe him a debt of gratitude.
He went for the wrong again, but baited out.
And what did he do then? He then did nothing. He waited and waited and waited. He still doesn't have a plan. I laid out back in March exactly what we should be doing. And
It's
I laid
so
out
wrong.
again in July
So
what we
wrong.
should be doing. We should be providing all the protective gear possible. We should be providing the money the House has passed in order to be able to go out and get
It's just
people
all
the
wrong.
help they need to keep their businesses open. Open schools that cost a lot of money. You should get out of your bunker and get out of the sand trap and get in your golf course and go in the Oval Office and bring together the Democrats and Republicans and fund what needs to be done now to save lives. So
Nice West Wing story.
You have 2 minutes, sir.
If we would have listened to
Here we
you,
go. Here we
the
go.
country would have been left wide open. Millions of people would have died, not 200,000, and one person is too much. It's China's fault. It should have never happened. They stopped it from going in, but it was China's fault. And by the way, when you talk about numbers, you don't know how many people died in China. You don't know how many people
It was
died
China's
in
fault.
You don't know how many people died in
No one
India.
should have
I'll
died.
give you a straight count.
It was
Just so
all
you understand.
China.
But if you look at what we've done, I closed it and you said he's xenophobic. He's a racist and he's xenophobic because you didn't think I should have closed our country. Wait a minute.
Says 2 minutes.
You didn't think we should have closed our country because you thought it was terrible. You wouldn't have closed it for another 2 months. By my doing
What?
that, in fact, Dr. Fauci said
What?
President Trump saved thousands of lives. Many of your Democrat governors said President Trump did a phenomenal job. We worked with the governor. Oh, really? Go take a look. Your governors said I did a phenomenal job. Most of them said that. In fact, people that would not be necessarily on my side said that. President Trump did a phenomenal job.
I am dying right
We
now.
got the gowns, we got the masks, we made the ventilators. You wouldn't have made ventilators, and now we're weeks away from a vaccine. We're doing
Weeks?
therapeutics already.
Weeks?
Fewer people are dying.
Weeks?
They get sick.
What?
Fewer people are dying. We've done a great job. The only thing I haven't done a good job, and that's because of the fake news. No matter what you say to them, they give you bad press on it. It's just fake news. They give you good press, they give me bad press, because that's the way it is, unfortunately. But let me just tell you something.
What?
Yeah, I've gotten used to it. But I'll tell you
What?
You could never have done the job that we did. You don't have it in your blood. You could have never done that job.
What?
job. I know how to get the job
Well, you didn't do
done.
very well in swine flu. H1N1.
Swine flu. Swine flu. H1N1.
14,000 people died, not 200,000.
Swine flu.
No
Very
economic
Let- let-
recession.
sir, you made a
There was no recession.
You made a point. Let him
It was H1N1.
No, we didn't shut down the economy. This is his economy that's being he shut down. The reason it's shut down is because, look, you folks at home, how many of you got up this morning and had an empty chair at the kitchen table because someone died of COVID? How many of you were in a situation where you're
Not me, but, you
mom
know.
and dad, and you couldn't even speak to them, you had the nurse holding the phone up so you could in fact say
You
goodbye?
would have lost far
How
more
many
people.
Far more people.
And you would have been
We would have lost far more
Your
people.
own CDC director says we can lose as many as another 200,000 people between now and the end of the year. And he held up and he said,
Far more
"Just
people.
wear a mask, you can
Far
save
more
half
people.
those numbers. Just the mask. And by the way, in terms of the whole
Man, I
notion of
pigged the
vaccine,
fuck out just now.
for a vaccine, but I don't trust him at all, nor do you. I know you don't. But we trust as a scientist.
There was a poll done.
Fauci.
Johnson, Pfizer.
No one trusts scientists, or rather the vaccine.
Let me move on to questions about the future, because you both have touched on two of the questions I'm going to ask. Focusing on the future first, President Trump You have repeatedly either contradicted or been at odds with some of your government's own top scientists. The week before last, the head of the Centers for Disease Control, Dr. Redfield, said it would be summer before the vaccine would become generally available to the public. You said that he was confused and mistaken. Those were your two words. But Dr. Slaoui, the head of your Operation Warp Speed, has said exactly
Far
the
more
same thing.
people.
Are they both wrong?
Well, I've spoken to the company.
You would have
They have
lost
an
far
election.
more
It's a
people.
very political thing because people
A
like
very
us
political
would rather
thing.
Make it political than save lives. It is a very political thing.
It's a very
I've spoken
political
to
thing.
Pfizer. I've spoken to all of the people that you have to speak to. We have
I've spoken to all of the people that you have to speak to.
They can go
I
faster
spoke to
than
everybody.
become very political because the left, or I don't know if I call them left, I don't know what I call them.
Head of your
The left, whatever you call them. I don't know what I call them. They're so.
But he didn't say that. He said it could be there, but it could also be much sooner. I had him in my office 2 days ago.
He talked about the summer, sir, before it's generally available.
I'm dying right now, man. I'm dying.
Answer before November 1st. It could also
I'm so dead right now. This is amazing.
military all set up logistically. They're all set up.
Logistically. We were set up logistically. We had them all set up.
Do 200,000 a day. They're going to be
This is
delivering.
the same man.
It's all
Oh, fuck.
By Easter, this would be gone away.
By Easter! Remember that? Remember that? It would be gone by Easter. Believe me.
This is the same man.
sarcastic.
That was him.
Sarcastic! It was just a joke. Bro, it's just a
Man
joke.
is talking about a vaccine.
I said it sarcastically.
Every serious company is talking about maybe having a vaccine done by the end of the year. But the distribution
I said it
of the vaccine
sarcastically.
will not occur until sometime beginning or the middle of next year to get it out. If we get the vaccine.
If we
Thank
get
God
it.
we will. Thank God we will.
Come on, man.
You'll have the vaccine
I
sooner
want to
than
pick up on this question, though. You say the public...
You'll have the vaccine tomorrow.
But they can't trust President Trump. In fact, you said that again tonight. Your running mate, Senator Harris, goes further, saying that public
Let's go, let's
efforts,
go.
quote, will be muzzled, will be suppressed. Given the fact that polls-
How's the stream, by the way, at the moment? I know I'm pigging out. I'm eating like fucking junk food.
are you,
But,
Senator Harris, contributing
hopefully y'all are enjoying.
No more than the question you just asked him. You pointed out. He puts pressure.
You pointed out.
His own scientists.
But you're saying you can't,
Everybody knows.
Senator
And-
Harris is saying
no.
you can't trust the
No,
science.
well, no, you can trust the scientists. She didn't say that. You can't trust
She
the
said, quote, will be
She
muzzled,
did.
well,
She did say
he's
that.
gonna try to do, but there's millions of scientists that
This
are
is so bad. This is so bad.
like here at this great hospital that don't work for him. Their job doesn't depend on him. That's not. They're the people. And by
I
the way,
spoke to the
and Fauci,
scientists that are in charge.
By the way,
We spoke to the scientists. They will have the vaccine.
for a moment,
Trust me. Believe me.
telling you, in light of all the lies he's told you about the whole issue relating to COVID, he still hasn't even acknowledged that he knew this was
He
happening,
knew.
He knew how dangerous it was going to be back in
Biden's hand thing is so good.
even tell you. He's on record as saying it. He panicked or he just looked at the stock market. One of the two. Because guess what? A lot of people die. And a lot more are going to die unless he gets a lot smarter, a lot quicker.
Mr. President.
Did you use the word smart?
Here we
So
go,
you said
here we
you
go.
went to Delaware State, but you forgot the
Did you
name of
use
college.
the word
You went to
smart?
Delaware State. You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class.
The
You
lowest.
used the word smart.
Oh, almost the
Don't
lowest.
ever use that word.
Oh, give me a break.
Because you know what?
Give me a break.
Smart about you.
There's nothing smart.
7 years
I can't. I can't.
You would have had
Oh my God.
if you would have had
I can't.
charge of what I was put through. I had to close the greatest economy in the history of our country. And by the way, now it's being built again. And it's going up.
Being built again.
It's going up fast.
10% unemployment. Believe me, it's tremendous.
Handled so far, the two of you have taken very different approaches, and this is going to affect how the virus is handled going forward by whichever of you ends up becoming the next president. I want to quickly go through several of those. Reopening. Vice President Biden, you have been much more reluctant than President Trump about reopening the economy and schools. Why, sir?
Because he doesn't
Why?
have a plan. If I were running, I know what the plan is. You've got to provide these businesses the ability to have the money to be able to reopen with the PPE as well as with the sanitation they need.
This is so fucking good. This is so fucking good.
Tell it to Nancy Pelosi.
He can shush for a minute.
Nancy Pelosi and Schumer, they have a plan. He won't even meet with them. The Republicans won't meet with the Senate. He sits.
Won't even meet. They won't even meet.
Literally, think about it.
You probably play
think
more than
about
I do, Joe.
What about this question of reopenings and the fact?
Well, he wants to shut down this country, and I want to keep it open.
I'm so in the Matrix. Amazing.
Let me shut you down for a second, Joe, just for 1 second. We want to.
Let me shut you down. Let me shut you
We
down.
didn't know anything about the disease. Now we found that elderly people with heart problems and diabetes and different problems are very, very vulnerable. We learned a lot. Young children aren't. Even younger people aren't. We've learned
Younger
a lot.
children
But he
and
wants
younger people.
more people will be heard by continuing. If you look at Pennsylvania, if you look at certain states that have been shut down, they have Democrat governors all.
Democrat
Shut
governors.
down because they want to keep it shut down until after the election on
I
November
want to
3rd.
move on to another
Because
subject.
it's a
I want to move
political
on to another
I gotta
subject.
But
respond.
those,
I
but
wanna
those
move-
states,
gentlemen,
those
wanna move
states
on to
are
another
not
subject.
doing well that are shut down right now.
They're not doing well. Blue state bailout.
Increasingly question the effectiveness of masks as a disease preventer, and in fact, recently you have cited the issue of waiters touching their masks and touching plates. Are you questioning
No, I think
the
masks are
efficacy of
okay. You have
masks?
to
I think masks are okay.
Mask right here.
I've got a mask right here.
When I think I need it.
When I think I need
As
it.
an example, everybody's had a test, and
I'll,
you've had
I'll take a
social
test.
distancing and all of the things that you have to. But I
Just
wear
like your
masks
rally.
when needed. When needed, I wear a mask.
Okay.
When needed. I only wear it when I need
Every
to.
time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from it. He shows up.
Joe Biden's like Batman. He's always got a costume on.
The way to open businesses is give them the wherewithal to be able to open. We provided
This
money.
is so good.
And I was asking you, sir, about masks.
Well, masks make a big difference. His own head of the CDC said if we just wore masks between now, everybody wore masks in social distance between now and January, we'd probably save up to 100,000 lives. It matters.
And they've also said,
We're so fucked, dude. We're fucked. We're fucked. We're fucked.
No serious.
Dr. Fauci said
Dr. Fauci! Dr. Fauci!
Minute left in this
masks
segment.
are not good.
Masks are not good.
I want to ask
They're not good. I'm okay with masks, but they're not good.
your different approaches has even affected the way that you have
I
campaigned.
wear it when I need it. I wear it when I need it.
With crowds packed together, thousands of people.
outside.
Outside, yes, sir. Agreed. Vice President
Agreed.
Biden, you are holding
I agree with that basic fact.
events with
Because nobody will show up.
people with.
Nobody will show up.
Nobody shows up to his rally.
All right. In any case, why you holding the big rallies? Why
I wouldn't show up.
You go first, sir.
Because people want to hear what I have to say. I mean,
But are you
you've
not
done
worried
a great
about it
job
spreading
as a
disease?
president, and I'll have 35,000 people show up at airports. We use airports.
Are you
to
not
hang
worried
out.
about?
We use airports. We hang out in the hangar.
We have had no problem.
35,000.
It's outside. That's a big difference, according to the experts.
According to the
We have tremendous
experts. I'm so.
as you see, I mean, every- and
the
literally
experts.
on 24 hours notice. And Joe does the circles and has 3 people someplace.
Okay.
By the way, did you
He's
see
got
the
3
second-
people.
one of the last
I got many, many people. Joe's only got 3 people.
Asked him a question. He said, no, stand back. Put on your mask. Put on a mask. Have you been tested? I'm way far away from those other people. So that's what he said.
Biden is like acting out a play right now. What the hell? What are you doing? We've had no negative effects.
No negative effect.
I don't even know what the fuck's Biden's doing. What the hell is Biden doing?
Because I want to move on to our next.
Yes, I would. He's been totally irresponsible the way in which he has handled the
Totally irresponsible.
mask, basically encouraging them not
People wearing
He's
masks.
a fool on that.
If you
He's a
get
fool.
the crowds,
Say malarkey.
same thing, but you can't. Nobody cares.
Gentlemen, can we move on to the gentlemen? Can we move on to the economy?
And nobody cares. Nobody. I agree with Trump there. Nobody cares.
Expected from the shutdown.
Much.
This, in the
Mu-
second quarter, the unemployment rate is 4.4%. The Federal Reserve says that
I love
is going to be there
much
nearly
trust.
as big as they had expected. President Trump, you say we are in a good shape recovery. Vice President Biden
Shit.
is more of a K shape. What difference does that mean?
That was just so good.
People in terms of economy?
Chris Wallace is like faster, and then Trump is like much faster.
Down because of the China plague. When the plague came,
Oh my God!
which was very hard psychologically to do. He didn't think we could close it down, and he was wrong. And again, 2 million people.
I'm gonna
now.
die.
Still, 204,000 people is too much. One person is too much. It should have never happened from China. But what happened is, we closed it
Much
down,
faster.
we're reopening, and we're doing record business. We had 10.4 million people in a 4-month period that we That's a record pace of which nobody's ever seen before.
This is amazing.
Close down he will shut it down.
This is so good.
Destroy this country. You know, a lot of people
This is
between
so-
drugs and alcohol, depression. When you start shutting it down, you take a look at what's happening at some of your Democrat-run states where they have these.
The Democrat states.
And I'm telling you, it's because they don't want to open it. One of them came out last week. You saw that. Oh, we're going to open up on November 9th. Why November 9th? Because it's after the election. They think they're hurting us by keeping them closed.
Much
They're hurting
faster.
people.
I really
People
cracked
do
up,
whatever.
man.
They can social distance. They can wash the hands. They can do whatever they want. But they got to open these states up.
They're gonna open them up.
North Carolina, when you look
Hey, that's me.
are under siege. Pennsylvania, Michigan, and a couple of others. You got to open these states up. It's not fair. You're talking about almost it's like being in prison. And you look at
I feel fine, personally.
Look at what's going on with alcoholism and drugs. It's a very, very sad thing.
Alcoholism and drugs. Oh shit.
We'll close down the whole country.
Oh,
We'll
fuck.
Destroy our country. Our country is coming back. in
He'll
great
destroy
shape.
our country.
Records as
The China plague. Much faster. Much faster. I can't do it that much. When he said much faster. Oh my God.
The president says it's a
Much
V-shaped
faster.
recovery. Say it's a K-shaped recovery. What's the difference?
The difference is millionaires and billionaires in the middle of the COVID crisis.
Much
Very
faster.
well. Another
That was-
have made another 300
Biden. 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 Biden.
Rough like a tax proposal. And
Biden! Ah, he's dying!
folks at home. You folks living in
Oh, he needs a refill.
small towns and working class
Scranton. 40 minutes in, Scranton.
This guy paid a total of $750 in taxes.
Sir, wait, no. Sir, it's just yeah, I understand. You've agreed to the 2 minutes, so please let him have it.
Do I get my time back? The fact is that he is, in fact, worked on this in a way that
The
he
fact
was the
is
first
that he is, in fact,
to leave office, having fewer jobs in his administration than when he became president. Fewer jobs than when he became president. First one in American history.
that was so good.
People who
Oh, Trump's like back
are
posture.
those people who have been on the front lines.
Oh,
People who have been saving our lives. Those people who have been out there dying. People who've been putting themselves in a way to make sure
this
that
is
we
so
can all
good.
try to make it. And the idea that he is insisting that we go forward and open when you have almost half the states in America with a significant increase in COVID deaths and COVID in the United States of America. And he wants to open it up more. Why does he want to open it up? Why doesn't he take care of the American? You can't fix the economy until you fix the COVID crisis. And he has no intention of doing anything about making it better for you all at home in terms of your health.
I'm at home.
Schools. Why aren't schools open? Because it costs a lot of money to open them safely. You know, they were going to give, his administration was going to give the teachers and school students masks. And then they decided, no, couldn't do that because it's not a national emergency. Not a national emergency. They've done nothing to help small businesses. Nothing. They're
LMAO Trump is trending on Twitter. LMAO Trump is trending.
job and take care of the needs of the American
Get
people
on the
so they
job.
can open safely.
All right, your time is up. Sir.
God, Biden's so boring.
Can respond to that.
Well, you both have 2 minutes, sir.
I have.
Excuse me, he made a statement. People want
Excuse
their-
me.
no, people want their
Excuse
states
me.
shut down.
It was much faster.
They don't want their state shut down. They want their restaurants. I look at New York. It's so sad what's happening in New York. It's almost like a ghost town. And I'm not sure it can ever
It's almost
recover
like a
what they've
ghost
done in
town.
New York. People want
It's
their
an
states
anarchist
open. They
jurisdiction.
wanna get
Oh,
back
wait
to
till they get to Law and Order.
They don't care
Oh,
about
they're.
it, but they want their schools open. I'm the one that brought back football. By the way,
I'm the one that brought back football. I brought it back. It was gone, and then I brought it back. Ah, he's talking about football.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get to your economic plans going forward in a moment. But first, Mr. President, As you well know, there's a new report that in 2016, the year you were elected president, and 2017, your first year as president, that you paid $750 a year in federal income.
Let's go. Let's go.
I know that you pay a lot of other taxes, and I'm asking you the specific question. Is it true that you paid $750 in federal income taxes each of those 2 years?
I paid millions of dollars in taxes, millions of dollars of income.
I paid
tax.
millions.
And let me just-
Millions.
There was a story in one of the papers.
Show us your tax
I paid $38 million 1 year. I paid $27 million.
Show us your
1
tax
year.
return.
I went. You'll see it as soon as it's finished. You'll see it. You know, if you want to do.
It's we've been working on it for 5 years. I'll show you when it's finished. I'll show you when it's finished. I know we've been working so hard since 2015. Oh my God.
I'm asking you a specific question. I
Oh.
understand all of that. I understand all of that. No, Mr. President, I'm asking you a question. Will you tell us how much you paid in federal income
This is
taxes
so good.
in 2016 and 2017?
Millions of dollars.
You paid
Millions.
$millions of dollars?
Millions of dollars.
I paid millions of dollars.
And you'll get to see it. And you'll get to see it.
And you'll get to see it.
Let me just say something that it was the tax
Let me
code.
just tell you something.
Before I came here,
Let me just tell you something.
people, like every other private person, unless they're stupid, they go through the laws, and that's what it is. He passed a
They
tax
go
code
through the laws, and
for
that's what it
credits,
is.
For depreciation and for
Oh.
tax credits. We build a building and we get tax credits, like the hotel on Pennsylvania Avenue. You get a massive, which, by the way, was given to me by the Obama administration.
The Obama administration. They gave it to me.
That happened, but
Vice
that's
President Biden, you want to respond?
Yeah,
The guy got fired.
The tax code that made him, put him in a position that he pays less tax than a school teacher on the money a school teacher makes is because
Biden.
of him he says he's smart because he can take advantage of the tax code. And he does take advantage of the tax code. That's why I'm going to eliminate the Trump tax cuts. And I'm going to eliminate those tax
Okay.
cuts. And
Okay.
Make sure that we invest in the people who in fact need the help. People out there need help.
But why didn't you do it over 20?
Because you weren't
Why didn't you do it over
because
the
you
last
weren't
20?
president
No,
screwing
no, no,
things
no.
up.
You were a senator. And
You're
by
the
way,
worst
you were a
president
white-
America has ever had.
Hey,
Come
Joe,
on.
let me just say this.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
I've done more than
47 months.
47 years,
Oh
Joe.
my
I've
God.
done things that you
47
never
years.
did.
That's
Including
so
fixing
good.
the broken military that you gave me,
Let's-
including taking care
We're
of your
talking,
vets.
Mr. President, we're talking about the economy. I'd like to ask you about your plans going forward because, Mr. Vice President, your economic plan, if you were to be elected president, focuses a lot on big government, big taxes, big spending. I want to focus first on the taxes. You propose more than $4 trillion over a decade in new taxes on individuals making more than $400,000 a year and on
This is
corporations.
amazing. This is amazing.
Trump says that that kind of an increase in taxes is going to hurt the economy as it's just coming out of a recession.
Well, just take a look at what the analysis done by Wall Street firms points out that my economic plan would create 7 million more jobs than his in 4 years. Number one. And
Number
two,
one?
It would create an additional $1 trillion in economic growth because it would be about buying America. That we're going to make this federal government spend $600 billion a year on everything from ships to steel to buildings and the like. And under my proposal, we're going to make sure that every penny of that has to be made by a company
But
in
respectfully,
America.
sir, I'm talking about taxes, not spending.
By the way, I'm going to eliminate a significant number of the tax. I'm going to make the corporate tax 28%.
God,
It should be
Biden is
21%.
so bad.
You have 91 companies.
Ah, he's
that
so
are
fucking
under
boring,
Fortune
dude.
500 Who don't pay a single penny in tax, making
This
billions
is
of
rough.
dollars. Billions of dollars. Because you
Obama.
passed that. That was your tax proposal.
I got it done, and you know what happened?
I did it. I got it done.
The economy is busted.
Our economy boomed.
Mr. President, let me
It
pick up.
boomed.
You would continue your
Ugh.
approach, lower taxes, more deregulation, correct?
Not lower tax for American people.
Let me,
Excuse me.
but in Obama's, you talk about the economy.
Excuse
booming.
me.
It turns out that in Obama's
Much
final
faster.
3 years as president,
This
your
is
jobs
great.
were created 1.5 million more jobs than in the first 3 years of your presidency.
They had the slowest recovery since economic recovery since
Ah, that was
1929.
good.
It was the slowest recovery. Also, they took over something that was down here. All you had to do is turn on the lights and you pick up a lot. But they had the slowest economic recovery since 1929. Let me tell you about the stock market.
I've been
Stock market
vibing
goes up, that
so
means
hard.
jobs. It also means 401ks. If you got in, if you ever became president with your ideas, you want to terminate my taxes, I'll tell you what, you'll lose half of the companies that have poured in here will leave, and plenty
Half
of
of the
companies that are
companies-
already here, they'll leave for
Hardly
other
any
places.
companies have-
They'll leave.
And you will have a depression
They'll leave.
of which you've never seen.
Look,
Mr.
we
Vice President.
inherited the worst recession short of a depression in American history. I was asked to bring it back. We were
I
able
was
to-
asked to bring it back. Yo, someone clip that back.
It wasn't booming.
I love that.
It wasn't booming. It was the weakest
Well, sir,
recovery
is it
since
fair to, wait, is it fair to say he blew it when, in
When
fact,
COVID came.
when there was record low unemployment
This
before
is-
COVID?
Because what he
This
did,
is so
he
bad.
went over.
This is so bad.
Manufacturing went in a hole.
Excuse
number
me,
one.
Chris, wait.
Number two.
Chris,
Number three.
They said
They-
it would
they-
take. No, you were number two.
No.
Chris. They said it would
This
take
guy.
a miracle to bring back manufacturing. I brought back 700,000 jobs. They brought back nothing. They gave up on manufacturing.
We
Part
were
of my
not
stand
bringing
there.
I'm the guy
He
that brought
totally
back the
gave up on
automobile
manufacturing.
Much faster. I'm still dead at much faster, by the way. Much faster was so good.
He blew it. They're gone. He blew it. And in fact, they're going.
Ohio had the best year it's ever had last year. Michigan had the best year they've ever had.
That is not
Many
true.
car companies came in from Germany.
His fucking hands, dude.
to Ohio.
They're not having.
And they
Mr.
didn't
Vice-
come
wait,
in
wait,
with
wait, Mr. Vice President, go ahead.
And so you take a look at what he's actually done. He's done very little. It's trade deals are the same way.
I
He
miss
talks about these
Bernie.
Great trade deals. You know, he talks about the art of the deal.
Oh, could you imagine Bernie Sanders right now? Oh,
We have the highest trade deficit
China
with
ate
Mexico.
your lunch. They
All
have
right,
an
gentlemen.
18%
oh.
And no wonder your son goes in and he takes out billions of dollars.
China ate your lunch.
To manage. He makes millions of dollars. And also, while we're at it, why is it, just out of curiosity, the mayor of Moscow's wife gave your son $3.5 million. What did he do to deserve
The
it?
mayor of Moscow's wife.
He deserved $183,000.
None of
Ask
that
the
is
question,
true.
let him answer it.
None of that is true.
Oh, really?
It's
He didn't
totally,
get
But no,
$3.5 million?
Mr. President,
it's
Mr.
totally,
President, please.
totally
ask the question.
discredited. Totally discredited.
Biden, you had like 2 fucking years to prepare for this. Oh.
It's an open discussion, please.
Now,
It's a fact.
Well,
There's-
you
there's
have
not.
raised an issue, let the
been
Vice
totally
President answer.
Discredited.
Did Burisma
Totally
make $180,000
discredited.
a month with no experience in energy?
Mr.
Look,
President,
my son did nothing wrong at Burisma.
I think he did.
Mr. President,
I think he
let
did.
him answer.
He doesn't want to let me answer because he knows I have the truth. His position has been totally, thoroughly discredited.
who?
And you
The
can-
media.
By everybody. Well, by the
By the
media,
media,
by our
because they refuse to
allies, by
talk
the
about it
World
because
Bank,
they're
by
embarrassed.
by everyone. As
By
discredited.
everyone.
Matter of fact, even the people
President,
who
please stop.
testified under oath.
So let me
Under
ask you
oath.
this.
Anyway,
Joe.
under
No,
oath.
go ahead, Mr. I'm listening to
Even
you.
People under,
He got $3.5
he
million from
testified-
Moscow.
he testified
3.5
in his
million.
and said, I did my job and I did it very well. I
Really?
did it
I'd like to know
honorably.
who they are.
Well, I'll give you the list of the people who testified.
I'll give you the list.
You
I
won't
love
know
it.
Most of them because they did a good job.
Some people don't
Well,
do a good
here's
job.
Some people. Some people.
well, it's hard to get any word in at this time. Excuse me. This.
Hey, let me just say,
No. I'm Mr. President.
$3.5 million.
That was good. With this clown. Excuse me. This person. I love that. That was good.
Talk about family
Here's the deal.
politics. I don't want to do that. I mean, his family we could talk about all night. His family's
My
already.
family,
No, let him-
my
let-
family
already
lost
wrote.
a fortune by coming down and helping
Go
us
ahead.
with
Go
government.
ahead, sir.
And that's
Every-
such
and
a.
they're right
Go
here.
ahead, Mr.
That's
President.
such a.
They're right here.
This is not
They're
about
right
my
here.
family or his family. It's about your family.
They
The
didn't
American
bring
people.
$3.5
He
million.
doesn't. That that's not true. It doesn't want to talk about what you need. You, the American people. It's about you. That's what we're talking about.
All right, that's the end of the segment. We're moving on.
He didn't take that.
Vice President, no.
Can I be honest? It's a very important.
Try to be honest.
He stood up.
No.
He stood up.
No.
Ukraine.
No, sir.
With $1 billion.
$1 billion. Oh my God.
You're going to have
True.
Gentlemen, I hate to raise my voice, but I see it seems to be, why shouldn't I be different than the two of you? So here's the deal.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
We've ended that segment. We're going to go to the next segment. In that segment, you each are going to have 2 uninterrupted moments. In those 2 uninterrupted minutes, Mr. President, you can say anything you want. I'm going to ask a question about race, but if you want to answer about something else, go ahead.
Oh, shit.
I think that
Here we go.
the country would be better served if we allowed both people to speak with fewer interruptions. I'm appealing to you, sir, to do.
And him too.
Well,
And him too.
more interrupting
That's
than
all
we
right,
have.
but he does plenty.
But he does plenty. Much faster.
Less than you have. Let's please continue on. The issue of race. Vice President Biden, you say that President Trump's response to the violence in Charlottesville 3 years ago,
Here we go.
about very
Here we
few
go.
people on both sides, was what directly led you to launch this run for president. President Trump, you have often said
Oh, yeah,
that
sure.
you have done more for black Americans than any president, with the possible exception of Abraham Lincoln.
With the possible exception. Thank you, Chris, for reading that out loud.
Than your opponent
With the possible exception.
facing this country over the next 4 years. Vice President Biden, you go first.
It's about equity and equality. It's about decency. It's about the Constitution. And we have never walked away from trying to require equity for everyone, equality for the whole of America. But we've never accomplished it. But we've never walked away from it like he has done. It is true. The reason I got in the races when those people, close your eyes, remember what those people looked like coming out of the fields carrying torches, their veins bulging, just spewing anti-Semitic bile, and accompanied by the Ku Klux Klan. A young woman got killed. And they asked the president what he thought. He said there were very fine people on both sides. No president's ever said anything like that.
It is who's
Now, second-
sir.
Second point I've got is that when Floyd was killed, when Mr. Floyd was killed, there was a peaceful protest in front of the White House. What did he do? He came out of his bunker, had the military use tear gas on him so he could walk across to a church and hold up a Bible. And then what happened after that? The bishop of that very church said that it was a disgrace. The general who was with him said all he ever wants to do is divide people, not unite people at all. This is a president who has used everything as a dog whistle to try to generate racist hatred, racist division. This is a man who, in fact, you talk about helping African Americans. 1 in 1,000 African Americans has been killed because of the coronavirus. And if he doesn't do something quickly, by the end of the year, 1 in 500 will have been killed. 1 in 500 African Americans. This man is the savior of African Americans. This man cares at all. This man's done virtually nothing. Look, the fact is that you have to look at what he talks about. You have to look at what he did. And what he did has been disastrous for the African American community.
So,
President Trump, you have 2 minutes. Why should
That's so good,
Biden
Mr. Freak.
trust you over your opponent to deal with race?
Biden, that was. Here we go. Yep.
where you call them super predators.
Super
African-American
predators.
super predators, and they've never forgotten.
Super
They've never
predators.
forgotten. They've never
No, sir, it's his 2 minutes.
So you did that, and they called you
Super predators.
And I'm letting people out of jail.
The way he enunciates super.
African-American population
Oh.
community, you have treated the black community about as bad as anybody in this country. You did the 1990, and that's why if you better than any Republican has done in a long
Oh.
time. You did. You call them super predators, and you call them
Super predator.
You look back at your
The way he says that.
Worse than that. As far as the church is concerned, I support President Trump. I don't think you have any law enforcement. You can't even say the word law enforcement because if
You can't even say the word law enforcement. Radical left supporters. Yeah, Biden. Yeah, Biden, say the words. Come on, man.
you would put out that
In a half an hour,
They're run by
I put it
radical
out.
Democrats.
Radical left
You
Democrats.
look at any place in Seattle. They heard we were coming in the following day, and they put up their hands, and we got back Seattle. Minneapolis, we got it back, Joe, because we believe in law and order, but you don't. The top 10 cities and just about the top 40 cities are run by Democrats and in many cases radical left, and they've got
Radical left.
Joe, to a point where you don't want to say anything about law and order. And I'll tell you what, the people
I'll tell you what.
want and demand law and order, and you're afraid to even say it.
And you're afraid to even say it?
I want to return to the question of race.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Breonna Taylor case
This is a motherfucking disaster.
raises the question
Ah!
whether justice could be equally applied in America. Do you believe that there is a separate but unequal system of justice for blacks in this country?
Yes, there's systemic injustice in this country, in education and work and in law enforcement and the way in which it's enforced. But look, the vast majority of police officers are good, decent, honorable men and women. They risk their lives every day to take care of us. But there are some bad apples. And when they occur, when they find them, they have to be sorted out. They have to be held accountable. They have to be held accountable. And what I'm going to do as President of the United States is call together an entire group of people at the White House, well, everything from the civil rights groups to the police officers, the police chiefs, and we're going to work this out. We're going to work this out so we change the way in which we have more transparency in when these things happen. These cops aren't happy to see what happened to George Floyd. These cops aren't happy to see what happened to Breonna Taylor. Most don't like it, but we have to have a system where people are held accountable. And by the way, violence in response is never appropriate. Never appropriate. Peaceful protest is. Violence is never appropriate.
All right.
What is peaceful protest? When they
Peaceful.
run into the town,
This is no.
President Trump,
Oh.
President Trump, I'd like to continue with the issue of race. I promise we're going to get to the issue of law and order in a moment. This month, your administration directed federal agencies to end
This is such a fucking shit show, man.
race theory. Why did you decide
The critical race theory?
sensitivity training and
It's bad.
believe that there is systemic racism in this country, sir?
I ended it because it's racist. I ended it because a lot of people were complaining that they were asked to do things that were absolutely insane, that it was a radical revolution that was taking place in our military, in our schools, all over the place, and you know it, and so does everybody else.
And you know it, and so does everybody else.
A certain person, you had
Super
It
predators.
was sort of a reversal.
Oh
And if
my
you look
God.
at the people, we were paying people hundreds of thousands of dollars to teach very bad ideas, and frankly, very simple
Very bad ideas. Oh.
people to hate our country. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to allow that to happen. We have to go back to the core values of this country. They were teaching people that our country is a horrible place, it's a racist place, and they were teaching people to hate our country. And I'm not going to allow that to happen.
Vice President Biden?
Nobody's doing that. We just
Nobody's doing that.
here's the deal.
You just don't know. You don't know. Ah.
There is racial insensitivity. People have to be made aware of what other people feel like, what insults them, what is demeaning to them. It's important that people know. They don't want to. Many people don't want to hurt other people's feelings, but it makes a big difference. It makes a gigantic difference in the way a child is able to grow up and have a sense of self-esteem. It's little bit like how
sense
this
of
guy
self-esteem.
and his friends look down on so many people. They look down their nose on people like Irish Catholics like me and grew up in Scranton. They look down on people who don't have faith. They look down on people who
Second
are
Scranton,
of
by the
different
way.
faith. They look down on people who are a different color. In fact, we're all Americans. The only way we're going to bring this country together is bring everybody together. There's nothing we cannot do. if we
This is
do it
such a
together.
disaster.
We can take this on
Fuck
and we
me.
can defeat racism
Vice
in America.
President Trump, sir.
During the Obama-Biden administration, there was tremendous division.
Tremendous
Hatred.
division.
You look at
Tremendous.
Ferguson, you look at You go to many places. Look at Oakland. Look what happened in Oakland. Look what happened in Baltimore. Look what happened. Frankly, it was more violent than what I'm even seeing now. But the reason
Not wrong.
Democrats that run these cities don't want to talk like you about law and order.
Violent
and you
crime.
still haven't mentioned. Are you in favor of law and order?
I'm in favor of law. You follow
Are you in
it and a
favor
little
of
bit
law and order? Go
Yes,
ahead,
I'm
say
a
it.
You ask a question, let him
law and order.
Uses
Law
left-
and order.
let him
Law and order with justice, where people get treated fairly. And the fact of the matter is, violent crime is down 17%, 15% in our administration.
All right.
It's gone up on his watch.
Went down
He-
much more
He
in
has
ours.
All right.
Much more.
Mr. President, you're going
States of
to.
America.
Mr. President,
Every record in the
Mr.
book.
President, you're going to be very happy because we're now going to talk about law and order.
Places we had trouble were Democratic-run cities.
That's
and
exactly my question.
Democratic-
There has been a dramatic increase in homicides in America this summer, particularly, and you often blame that on Democratic mayors and Democratic governors, but in fact, there have been equivalent spikes in Republican-led cities like Tulsa and Fort Worth. So the question is this really a party issue?
I think it's a party issue. You can bring in a couple of examples, but if you look at Chicago, what's going on in Chicago, where 53 people were shot and 8 died shot. If you look at New York, where it's going up like nobody's ever seen anything, the numbers are going up 100, 150, 200%. Crime. It
Republican
is
cities.
crazy what's going on, and he doesn't want to say law and order because he can't, because he'll lose his radical left supporters, and once he does that, it's over with. But if he ever
Once
got
he's
it
done
right,
that, it's over with.
the way he would want to run it, we would have
We would
our
run it
suburbs
the
would
way-
be gone. By the way, our suburbs would be gone, and you would see problems like you'd
He
never
wouldn't
seen.
know a suburb unless he took a wrong turn.
Oh, I know suburbs.
He would not. I was raised.
That's good.
I was raised in the suburbs. This is not 1950. All these dog whistles and racism don't work anymore. Suburbs are by and large.
If you
integrated.
took a wrong turn, that
People
was
today
good.
Driving their kids to soccer practice and or to black and white and Hispanic in the same car as there have been any time in the past. What really is a threat to the suburbs and their safety is his failure to deal with COVID. They're dying in the suburbs. His failure
They're
to deal with the
dying.
environment. They're being flooded. They're being burned out because his refusal to do anything. That's why the suburbs are in trouble.
I do want to talk about this issue of law and order, though, and in the joint recommendation that came from the Biden-Bernie Sanders task force,
Bernie!
we talk about
Name drop.
reimagining policing. First of all, what does reimagining policing mean? And do
This
you
is
support
going to be a disaster. Biden is going to crash.
reimagining policing mean?
Brace for impact.
The Black Lives Matter
Brace for impact. I need a seatbelt. I need a seatbelt. Oh God.
community control.
Ooh.
What I support is the police having the opportunity to deal with the problems they face. And I'm totally opposed to defunding the police officers.
Ah.
Matter of fact, local police. The only one defunding them
Ooh.
is the $48 million cut in local law enforcement assistance. They need more assistance. They need, when they show up for a 9/11 call, to have someone with them as a psychologist or psychiatrist to keep them from having to use force and be able to talk people down.
Oh.
Community police
Oh, this is so bad.
The officers get to know the people in the communities. That's when crime went down. It didn't go up. It
This
went
is
down.
so bad.
So
This
we
is
have to
so
do
bad.
Talking about,
That-
Chris. That's
what-
not what
that-
talking.
that's
He's talking
exactly-
about defunding the
that
police.
is not
He's
true.
talking about defunding the police. Ah, here we go.
That's not true.
Almost
That's
nothing.
not. Look,
Oh, really? Who do you have? Name one group that supports you. Name one group that came out.
I'm just saying this part, Cloud.
Think. We have time.
we don't have time to do
No, no,
anything.
think
except
about
listen.
it.
We have time.
One
Think about it.
different group that came out and
I think,
supported
gentlemen,
you.
I think I'm going to take back the modern
Ah.
control, and I want to get to another subject, which is the issue of protests in many cities that have turned
The way
violent.
Trump is standing is like ass is sticking out. That's so gross. Oh.
Which I think
Oh, that camera angle? Fuck.
Many of those turned into riots. Mr. Vice President, you say that people who commit crimes should be held accountable. The question I have, though, is as the Democratic nominee, and earlier tonight you said that you are the Democratic Party right now, have you ever called the Democratic mayor of Portland or the Democratic governor of Oregon and said, hey, you got to stop this, bring in the National Guard, do whatever it takes, but you'd stop the days and months of violence? in Portland?
Violence.
I don't hold
Stop
public
it.
office now. I am a former vice president. I've made it clear in my public statements that the violence should be prosecuted. It should be prosecuted, and anyone who commits it
But
should
you've
be
never called
prosecuted.
for the people, the leader, excuse me, sir. You have never called for the leaders in Portland and in Oregon to call it,
Because
bring in
they-
the National Guard and knock
No.
off 100 days of run.
They can, in fact, take care of it if he just stay out of the way. Look, here,
really?
here-
Oh, really?
here's the
But
thing.
I sent
sir,
in the
no, wait, I
U.S.
asked him a
Marshals to
question.
get the
No,
killer of a
then-
young man in the middle of the street, and they shot him.
In the middle of the street, they shot him.
Didn't do anything. I had to send in the U.S. Marshals.
President
Trump just admitted to assassinating the guy! Ah!
Chaos and violence help us cause. That's what this is all about. I think Kellyanne Conway, she said that. And so here's
All right.
This motherfucker, dude.
That's what he
This motherfucker just said that. Oh,
calm things down.
oh, he just fucking said that.
Saying, let's get everybody together, figure out how to deal with this. What's he do? He just
That's
pours
nuts,
gasoline on the
dude.
fire, constantly,
And-
every single solitary.
Okay,
time.
and to end this, button up this segment, I'm going to give you a minute to answer, sir. You have repeatedly
Well, wait, I
criticized.
have to answer his
No,
statement.
you have
His statement.
repeatedly.
Wait,
You have
just one
no.
second.
You've been talking
He
back
made
and
a
forth.
statement.
I'm asking you.
I would
no,
love to
you know,
end it.
sir.
I would love to end it, and
You
we
know, if
would
you want to
very-
switch seats,
we would very quickly.
we can do that. But I'm
Send
no.
the National Guard away.
I-
There'd be no problem.
Okay.
I don't want to accept the National Guard.
You have repeatedly criticized the vice president for not specifically calling out Antifa and other left-wing
That's right.
extremist groups. But are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
Sure,
are you
I'm willing
prepared to
do that,
specifically
but
do it? Well,
I
go
would
ahead,
say
sir.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right
So
wing.
what are you
If
saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see
Well,
peace.
then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it.
You want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
White
name. Go ahead.
supremacists and
Who would
right
you like me to condemn?
white
Proud Boys.
supremacists and right
Proud Boys. Stand back.
Proud Boys. Ah!
Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left.
Stand up and step back. What was that?
This is a left wing.
This is a...
Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you got it.
Not malicious. That's what his
an idea.
His FBI director said.
Motherfuck!
Done, sir. We're moving on.
Motherfuck!
That's not an idea.
Ah!
Administration tells you the truth.
I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead.
Antifa is a
Antifa. Antifa. Oh, I'm so fucking... Oh.
President, I'm going to ask a question.
Oh.
The president seems
That
to
was
confirm
ridiculous. Holy
it is
shit.
generally a referendum on his record. But Vice President Biden, you like to quote one of your dad's sayings, which is, don't compare me to the almighty, compare me to the alternative. And in this case, sir, you are the alternative. Looking at both of your records, I'm going to ask each of you, why should voters elect you president over your opponent in this?
This
instance,
is
President
such
Trump's
a
first
fucking
minute?
shit show, man.
There's never been an administration or president who has done more than I've done in a period of 3.5 years.
That may be true.
The impeachment
That might be
hoax,
true.
And you saw what happened today with
The
Hillary
impeachment
Clinton. It was
hoax.
a whole big con job.
The whole big con job. What?
Both flanks and
What happened with the whole big con job?
There's never been an administration
What?
that's
Did I
done
miss
that.
something?
The greatest before COVID came in, the greatest economy in history, lowest unemployment numbers.
I love...
Everything was good.
Trump's
Everything was
hands are
good.
so fucking funny,
Everything was
dude.
going to happen. People were calling me for the first time in years. They were calling, and they were saying
His
"It's time to
fucking
hit." And then what
hands.
happened? We got hit, but now we're building it back up again. A rebuilding of the military, including Space Force and all of the other things.
Space Force, shout out.
The VA, which was a mess under him. 308,000 people died because they didn't have proper health care. He was a mess. And we now got a 91% approval rating at the VA, our vets. We take care of our vets. But we've rebuilt our military. The job that we've done, and I'll tell you something, some people say maybe the most important. By the end of the first term, I'll have approximately 300 federal judges and Court of Appeals judges.
Oof.
300,
Ugh.
hopefully 3 great Supreme Court judges.
Ooh,
justices.
great
That was
Supreme
a
Court?
Record, the
Ooh.
likes of which very few people. And you know one of the reasons I'll have so many judges? Because President Obama and him left me 128 judges to pay. When you don't any judges, that's like you just don't do that. They left 128
Fucking
openings.
oh, Trump is owning him.
They have a little different
Oh,
philosophy. I'd say if you
this is so bad.
128 openings, you can't be a good president. You can't be a good vice president. But I want to thank you because it gives us almost, it'll probably be above that number by the end of this term. 300 judges. It's a record.
Looking at both your records, why should voters elect you president?
That was brutal.
President Trump, you have 2 minutes on
That was fucking brutal.
President, we become weaker, sicker, poorer, more divided, and more violent. When I was vice president, we inherited a recession. I was asked to fix it. I did. We left him a booming economy, and he caused the recession. With regard to being weaker, the fact is that I've gone head to head with Putin and made it clear to him we're not going to take any of his stuff. He's Putin's puppy. He still refuses to even
Putin's
say
puppy.
anything to Putin about the bounty on the heads of American soldiers.
You see
Oh.
$1 million.
And by the way,
Mr.
my
President,
son,
wait a minute.
Ooh.
Mr. President, your campaign agreed that both sides would get 2-minute answers uninterrupted. Well, your side agreed to it, and why don't you observe what your campaign agreed to as a ground rule, okay, sir?
he never keeps his word. Can you add back, sir?
No, I'm not asking. That was a rhetorical question. Go ahead. sir.
This is nuts.
Yes, you may have.
All right.
Go ahead.
So, thirdly, we're poor. The billionaires have gotten much more wealthy by a tune of over 300 to 400 billion dollars more just since COVID. You in the home, you got less. You're in more trouble than you were before. In terms of being more violent, when we were in office, there were 15% less violence in America than there is today. He's president of the United States. It's on his watch. And with regard to more divided, the nation can't stay divided. We can't be this way. And speaking of my son, the way you talk about the military,
Biden's saying nothing.
and being and just being suckers. My son
Being losers
was
and being
he spent
suckers.
a year there. He got the Bronze Star. He got the Conspicuous Service Medal. He was not a loser. He was a patriot, and the people left behind there were heroes.
Oh, Joe Biden's mad.
Are you talking
I'm
about
talking about my son, Bo Biden. You're
I
talking
don't know.
about
I don't know, Bo. I know Hunter.
Yeah,
Hunter
you know,
got
Bo.
thrown.
Oh!
He was thrown out, dishonorably discharged.
That's not true. He
for
wasn't
cocaine
dishonorably.
use, and he didn't have a job until you became vice
Trump
president.
just said, I don't know, Bo. Let me shit on your other son. Trump was just like, I don't know, Bo. But your other son's a piece of shit.
Like a lot of people
Oh my god.
we know at home.
Holy shit. That was nuts.
He's fixed it. He's worked.
That was
And
nuts.
I'm proud of him.
But why was he
Proud of
given
my
tens
son.
of millions?
All right.
But he wasn't given tens of millions of dollars. That is
Uh.
totally,
President Trump,
totally
President Trump,
discredited.
we've already been
Totally discredited.
we've already been
Oh.
told that the American people would rather hear about more substantial
So do I.
subjects. Well, you know, as the moderator, sir, I'm going to make it.
So do I.
$3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow.
This is so nuts, man. This is so good.
Mitt Romney on that committee said it wasn't worth taxing.
Mitt Romney.
It was written for political reasons.
You know, I'd like to talk about climate change.
So would I.
Okay. The forest fires in the
So
West
would
are
I.
raging now. They have burned millions of acres.
Antifa's caused the wildfires. It was Antifa. Far left radicals. I swear if he says that. I swear.
I don't think the science knows. Over your 4 years,
It's a Chinese
you have
hoax.
pulled the US out of the Paris Climate
Just like
Accord,
the corona
rolled
flu.
back a number of Obama environmental records. What do you believe about the science of climate change, and what will you do in the next 4 years to confront it?
I want crystal clean water and air. I want beautiful clean air. We have now the lowest carbon. If you look at our
The
numbers
lowest
right now,
carbon.
are
We have the
doing
lowest
phenomenal.
carbon.
But I haven't destroyed our businesses. Our
We have the
businesses
lowest
aren't
carbon. Whatever that
If
means.
you look at
The
Paris
lowest
Accord, it was a
carbon.
disaster from our standpoint, and people are actually very happy about what's going on because our businesses are doing well. As far as the fires are concerned, you need forest management in addition to everything else. The forest floors are loaded up with trees, dead trees that are years old, and they're like tinder, and leaves and everything else. You drop a cigarette in there, the whole forest burns down. You've got to have forest management.
What do you
You've got to have
believe?
cuts.
What do you believe in the science of
It's not climate change.
I
It's
believe that
forest
we have to do
management.
everything we can
It's
to have
forest
immaculate air, immaculate water, and do whatever else we
Immaculate
can that's
air.
good. You know, we're planting a billion
We have the
trees,
lowest
a billion
carbon.
tree project, and it's very
Do you
exciting.
believe
A lot of-
that human pollution, greenhouse gas emissions contributes to the global warming
I
of the
think
planet?
a lot of things do, but I think to
A lot of
extent,
things
I think to an
do.
extent, yes, but I also think
Oh,
we
we're
need
so
better
fucked.
management of our forests. Every year, I get the call. California's
Every
burning,
year,
California's
I get the
burning.
call.
If that was clean, if you had
Oh.
forest management, good forest management, you wouldn't be getting those calls. You know, in Europe, they live their forests.
This
they have
is
forest
so-
cities.
we
They
have the
maintain their
lowest
forests. They manage their forests. I was with the head of a
We've got the lowest
major
carbon.
forest city.
I was with the head of a major country. What country? I was with the head of a major country. What the
At some point, you can't every year have hundreds of thousands of acres of land just burned to the ground. That's burning down because of a lack of
But
management.
sir, if you believe in the science of climate change,
I'm sorry again. I'm just wasted right now. This is so funny.
limited carbon emissions in power plants, why have you relaxed?
Because it was driving energy prices through the sky.
Why have you relaxed
Through
all
the sky.
standards that are going to create more pollution from cars
Well,
and
not
trucks?
really, because what's happening is the car is much less expensive and it's a much safer car. And you're talking about a tiny difference, and then what would happen because of the cost of the car, you would have at least double and triple the number of cars purchased. We have the old slugs out there that are 10, 12 years old. If you did
The
that
old
with
slugs.
it would be much
We got the old slugs out there.
Yeah, they've simply
No, but you
ignored
would
your-
take a
your
lot of
robot.
cars off the market because people.
It's
would
much
get rid of
faster.
the car.
Much
Now,
faster.
So, and by the way, we're going to see how that turns out. But a lot of people agree with me. Many people. The car has gotten so expensive because they have computers all over the place for an extra little bit
Okay.
of gasoline. And,
That's not-
and I'm okay with electric cars too. I think I'm all for electric cars. I've given big incentives for electric cars. But what they've done in California is just
Vice President Biden, I'd like you to respond to the president's climate change record, but I also want to ask you about a concern. You proposed $2 trillion in green jobs. You talk about new limits, not abolishing, but new limits on fracking, ending the use of fossil fuels to generate electricity by 2035, and zero net emission of greenhouse gases by 2050. The president says a lot of these things would tank the economy and cost millions of jobs.
He's absolutely wrong, number one. Number two, if in
Absolutely
fact,
wrong.
during our administration, the Recovery Act, I was in charge, able to bring down the cost of renewable energy to cheaper than or as cheap as coal and gas and oil. Nobody's going to build another coal-fired plant in America. No one's going to build another oil-fired plant in America. They're going to move to renewable
Biden just somehow
Number two, we're gonna make sure
can't
that we're
capture my
able to
attention. He's so boring. He says nothing.
on their electric vehicles, making
He's
sure
just
that we
like
have
spouting
over
half-baked,
100,000
somewhat
cars
policy-sounding garbage. Like, oh yeah, electric cars, and then we're gonna build, and then the economy, and then that's gonna have, and then the ability, and then we'll do that, and then we can do this, and we can put that in there, and then that'll be in there, and that's that, and then it'll be in there, and then will be less, and then we'll have more oil, and then the heat, and then like, what are you saying, dude? What are you doing? Oh, shut up. Energy, and then we'll have net zero, and then we're costing, and then we'll make more jobs, and more everything.
not $15 an hour, but prevailing wage.
This is so
by
bad.
having a new infrastructure that in
Oof,
fact is
so
green.
bad.
And the first thing I will do, I will rejoin the Paris Accord. I will join the Paris Accord because with us out of it, look what's happening. It's all falling apart. And talk about someone who has no relationship with foreign policy. Brazil, the rainforests of Brazil are being torn down, are being ripped down. More carbon is absorbed in that rainforest than every bit of carbon that's emitted in the United States. Instead of doing something about that, I would be gathering up and making sure we had the countries of the world coming up with $20 billion. Say, here's $20 billion. Stop tearing down the forest. And if you don't, then you're going to have significant economic consequences.
What about the argument that President Trump basically says that you have to balance environmental interests and economic interests, and he's drawn his line?
Well, he hadn't drawn a line. He still, for example, makes sure that he wants to make sure that methane's not a problem. You can now emit more methane without it being methane. This is a guy who says
Methane.
you don't have to have mileage standards for automobiles that exist now. This is the guy who says that.
Not true.
Not
true. Not true.
Talking about the Green New Deal, and it's not $2 billion or $20 billion, as you said. It's $100 trillion.
I'm talking about.
Oh.
Down
Go for a
buildings
minute, and then you can go.
and rebuild the building.
No,
It's the
that is
dumbest,
not-
most
that
ridiculous.
is not-
Where airplanes are out of business. where
Airplanes.
systems are out of business.
Airplanes. They'll take them all gone. Take out the cows. No, everyone will be vegan. Everyone will be eating soy. They're gonna take out the cows. The airplanes, they're gonna be gone. They're gonna be gone. This is such a fucking ridiculous shit fuck.
Your plan, and it's
Ah!
4 million buildings, weatherizing 2 million homes over 4 years, building 1.5 million energy efficient homes.
The cows. The cows. Much faster.
The president is saying, I think some people who support the president would say that sounds like it's going to cost a lot of money. And
Trump's fucking posture, dude. He looks constipated, man.
Good paying job.
Let him finish, sir.
He doesn't know.
Like when the camera backs out and you see his fucking thighs, it's just so
Millions of good paying
bizarre.
jobs and these tax incentives for people to weatherize, which he wants to get rid of. It's going to make the economy much safer. Look how much we're paying now to deal with the hurricanes. By the way, he has an answer for hurricanes. He said maybe we should drop a nuclear weapon on them. They may.
I never said that.
I never said that. They made it up. They made it up. I never did that. I didn't do it.
Hard, good jobs by making
We
sure
can
the
create
environment
hard,
is clean and
good.
all are in better
Hard,
shape.
good.
We spend
Yes.
billions of dollars,
Hard,
billions of
good.
dollars on floods, hurricanes, rising seas. We're in real trouble. Look what's happened just in the Midwest with these storms that come through and wipe out entire.
The storms, they're just coming through. The storms are coming through.
Because of global warming, we make up 15%.
Yeah, the storms, they're just coming through.
But the rest of the world, we gotta get them to
Storms,
come
you
along.
know,
That's what we
they're
have
over
to
there
get
and then they come through.
into.
Listen to me, I vote for Biden.
All right, gentlemen,
Wait a
we
minute, Chris. So why didn't he do it for 47 years? You were vice president.
47
Everywhere in the
years.
world,
China!
sends
China!
Russia does, India does, they all do. We're supposed to be good. And by the way, he made a couple of statements. The Green New Deal is $100 trillion.
That is not
$20
my
billion.
plan.
That's
Green
well,
New
you want to
Deal
rebuild every
is not
building.
my plan.
I wanna
The
rebuild
Green New Deal is not my
He
plan.
made a statement about the military. He said I said something about the military. He and his friends made it up, and then they went with it. I never said it.
Okay.
That is
What
not
he
true.
did
Sir,
is he
you're done in
said
this segment.
he called
Mr.
the
Vice-
military
Mr. Vice President,
stupid bastards.
I
And he
did
said
not
it
say
on
that.
tape. He
Mr.
said
Mr.
stupid bastards.
Please.
Oh, that was when Biden was like, clap for that, you stupid bastards. That was so good. It's on tape. It's on tape.
The final question is, I can't remember which of all his rantings.
I'm having a little trouble myself.
You don't remember much.
And about the economy and about this question of what it's going to cost.
The economy.
I mean, the Green New Deal.
Yeah, Mojo?
What your environment
Two rocks being rubbed in the rain.
will pay for itself as we move forward. You're not going to build plants that, in fact, are great polluting plants.
So do you
You're going to
support
build.
the Green New Deal?
Pardon me?
Do you support that?
No, I don't support the Green
Oh,
New
you
Deal.
don't? Oh, well, that's a big
That-
statement.
I
That
support
means you
the
just
bloc.
lost the radical left.
The radical left, it's gone! The radical left, it's gone!
Green New Deal.
Oh,
Segment.
the radical left, it's gone.
Millions of Americans are receiving mail-in ballots or going to vote early. How confident
Fuck me, that was
be
funny.
that this will be a fair election, and what are you
Fuck.
prepared to do
That was so
over the
funny.
next 5+ weeks, because it'll not only be to election day, but also counting some ballots, mail-in ballots after election day. What are you prepared to do to reassure the American people that the next president will be the legitimate winner of this election?
This is a good question. This is a good fucking question. Let's go, baby.
You should go to iwillvote.com. Decide
I will
vote,
vote
when they're
dot
gonna vote,
com.
and what means by which they're going to vote. His own Homeland Security Director, and as well as the FBI Director, says there is no evidence at all that mail-in ballots are a source of being manipulated and cheating. They said that. The fact is that there are going to be millions of people because of COVID that are going to be voting by mail-in ballots, like he does, by the way. He sits behind the Resolute desk and sends his ballot to Florida, number one. Number two, we're going to make sure that those people who want to vote in person are able to vote because enough poll watchers are there to make sure they can socially distance. The polls are open on time, and the polls stay open until the vote
Trump's
counts.
fucking
This
posture
all
is
about
so
trying to
bizarre.
dissuade people from voting because he's trying to scare people into thinking that it's not going to be legitimate. Show up and vote. You will determine the outcome of this election. Vote, vote, vote. If you're able to vote early in your state, vote early. If you're able to vote in person, vote in person. Vote whatever way is the best way for you, because he cannot stop you from being able to determine the outcome of this election. And in terms of whether or not when the vote
Such a bad answer. This is such a bad answer.
if I win, that will be accepted. If I lose, that'll be accepted. But by the way, if in fact he says he's not sure what he's going to accept, well, let me tell you something. It doesn't matter, because if we get the votes, it's going to be all over. He's going to go. He can't stay in power. It won't happen. It won't happen. So vote. Just make sure you understand you have it in your
Biden's like
hands to decide
pleading right
what this
now.
country's gonna look like in the
Holy
next 4
shit,
years.
dude.
Is it going to change? Or you get 4 more years of these lies?
Biden's bending the knee live on camera.
When I listened to Joe talking about a transition, there's been no transition from when I won. I won that election. And if you look at Hillary Clinton, if you look at all of the different people, there was no transition because they came after me trying to do a coup. They came after me spying on my campaign. They started from the day I won and even before I won, from the day I came down the escalator with our First Lady. They were a disaster. They were a disgrace to our country. And we've caught them. We've caught them all. We've got it all on tape. We've caught them all. And by the way, you gave the idea for the Logan Act against General Flynn. You better take a look at that because we caught you in a sense. And President Obama was sitting in the office. He knew about it too. So don't tell me about a free transition. As far as the ballots are concerned, it's a disaster. A solicited ballot, okay? Solicited is okay.
Solicited.
You're soliciting. You're asking. They send it back. You send it back. I did that. If you have
Yo, I gotta
ballots,
pee,
they send
man.
Millions of ballots all over the country. There's fraud. They found them in creeks. They found some with the name Trump. Just happened to have the name Trump just the other day in a waste paper basket. They're being sent all
Waste
over the
paper
place.
basket.
They sent 2 in a Democrat area. They sent out 1,000 ballots. Everybody got 2 ballots. This
Yeah,
is
sure, Liam.
fraud like you've never seen. The other thing, it's not
I got
when
you,
the
don't worry.
You're watching and you see who won the election. And I think we're going to do well because people are really happy with the job we've done. But you know what?
You know what?
We might not know for months because these ballots are going to be all over. Take a look at what
These
happened in
ballots,
Manhattan. Take
they're
a
gonna
look
be
at what
all
happened
over.
in New Jersey. Take
I
a
don't
look
know
at
where
what
they'll
happened in
be.
Virginia,
They're
another
gonna be all over.
losing 2%, 1%, which, by the way, is too much. An election could be won or lost with that. They're losing 30 and 40%. It's a fraud. And
It's a
shame.
fraud.
Can you imagine where they say
They're lost. No one knows where they are.
November 10th? That means that's 7 days after the election, in theory, should have been announced.
Okay.
We have
No,
major states with that.
sir.
All run by
2 minutes
Democrats.
is 2 minutes.
All run. All run by Democrats. They're all, it's a rigged election. It's a rigged.
Charging for months that mail-in
This motherfucker. This motherfucker.
that it's going to lead
It's a rigged election. It's fraud.
in the
It's
last
rigged.
election, 31 million people voted mail-in voting. That was a quarter, more than a quarter of all the voters that year cast their ballots by mail. Now that millions of mail-in ballots have gone out, what are you going to do about it? And are you counting on the Supreme Court including a Justice Barrett.
This is a good question.
Yeah, I think I'm counting on them to look at the ballots, definitely. I don't.
Oh, this is a good question.
In terms of the election itself, but for the ballots, I think so. Because what's happening is incredible. I just heard, I read today, where at least 1% of the ballots for 2016 were invalidated. They take them, we don't like them, we don't like them.
We don't like him. We don't like him. I'm voting in person, by the way. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Okay, so you go and vote.
I'm asking you about the fact that millions of people.
You go and vote. You go and vote. Like they used to in the old.
Millions of
You
people.
either do, Chris, a solicited ballot where you're sending it in, they're sending it
The
back.
hands are just.
They have mailmen with lots of it.
They're
Did you see
so-
what's going on? Take a look at West Virginia. Mailmen selling the ballots.
Mailman.
They're being sold.
I say mailman.
Rivers.
I don't say
This is a
mailman.
horrible thing
I say
for us.
mailman.
This is not.
There is no
This is not
evidence of
going to
that.
end well.
There is
Okay.
no
This
evidence
is
of that.
not going
Vice
to
President
end well.
Biden.
5 states
fact,
have had
go ahead,
mail-in
sir.
ballots for the last decade or more. 5, including 2 Republican states. And you don't have to solicit the ballot; it's sent to you.
It's sent to
home.
you.
What we're
I
saying
hope
is
Trump
that
mentions
the
fucking the Ilhan Omar Project Veritas thing. Please mention that, Trump. Please, please, please mention that. Please mention that.
Be counted. He's just afraid of counting the vote. because he
You're
knows the
wrong.
outcome.
You're wrong.
No, I want to continue with you on this.
love that.
You're wrong. You're wrong. He's so wrong. He's so wrong.
President Biden, the biggest problem, in fact, over the years with mail-in voting has not been fraud historically. It has been that sizable numbers, sometimes hundreds of thousands of ballots are thrown out because they have not been properly filled out, or there is some other irregularity, or they missed the deadline. So the
Fraud.
question I have is,
It's
are you
fraud.
concerned that the Supreme Court with a Justice Barrett will settle any dispute?
I'm concerned that any court would settle this because here's the deal. When
Here's the
When
deal.
when you get a ballot and you fill it out, you're supposed to have an affidavit. If you didn't know, you have someone say that this is me. You should be able to, if in fact you can verify that's you before the ballot is thrown out, that's sufficient to be able to count the ballot because someone made a mistake and not dotting the correct I. Who they voted for, testify, say who they voted for, say it's you, that is totally legitimate.
All right.
Excuse me,
No,
Chris,
no, no.
when you
I
have
have a final.
80 million ballots.
Gentlemen, I have a final.
80 million.
Swamping the
Swamping the system.
system.
80 million ballots. They're swamping the system. They're swamping the system. 80 million. He just says it over and over again. He just says it over and over. 80 million. 80. 80.
Until election day. That means that it's likely, because there's going to be a huge
Fuck
increase
me.
in mail-in balloting, that we are not going to know on election night who the winner is, that it could be days, it could be weeks,
Could be months.
until we
Could be months. I love it. He's setting us up. He's fucking setting us up for the dunk, dude. Could be months. He's just giving it up. He's giving up the fucking ghost.
this extended period not to engage in any civil unrest, and will you pledge tonight that you will not declare victory until the election has been independently certified? President Trump, you
I'm
go first.
urging my supporters to go into the polls and watch very carefully because that's what has to happen. I am
Here we
not
go.
going to do it. As you
Watch
know,
very
in Philadelphia-
carefully.
In Philadelphia, they went in to watch. They're called poll watchers, a very safe, very nice thing. They were thrown out. They weren't allowed to watch. You know why? Because bad things happen in Philadelphia. Bad things. And
Bad things.
I am urging my people. I hope it's going to be a fair election. If it's
Here
a
we
fair
go.
election, I am 100% on board. But if I see tens of thousands of ballots being manipulated, I can't go along with that.
I can't go along with that.
Does that mean
I'll
you're going
tell
to
you
tell
what
your
it means.
people to take to
It
the
means you
street?
have a fraudulent election. You're saying-
Fraudulent election.
They're not equipped to. These people aren't equipped to handle it. Number one. Number two.
Okay.
They cheat. They cheat. They found.
This.
ballots
Oh
in
man.
paper bags.
Here we go.
3 days ago.
Ooh.
And they all were military ballots. They were military. They all had
It's
names.
just happening right now.
You think that's good?
This is just happening.
Question for you. Will you
Sure.
urge your supporters to
Right? Okay.
while the vote is counted, and will you pledge not to declare victory until the election is independently certified?
Wow.
Here's the deal.
And here's the
Count
deal.
ballots, as you pointed out. some of these ballots in some states can't even be opened until election day. And if there's thousands of ballots, it's going to take time to do it. And by the way, our military, they've been voting by ballots.
He's not threatening a coup, Aitor. He's literally saying, I'm going to steal the election.
Why is it for them
That's what he just did.
not fraudulent? It's the same process. It's
It's
honest.
fucked up, man.
No one has established at all that there is fraud related to mail-in ballots. That
Mail-in
it's a fraudulent
ballots.
process.
It's already been established.
It's already...
Carolyn Maloney's race in and out.
You had an opportunity.
Carolyn Maloney. Carolyn Maloney. They call her Phony Maloney. That's what they call her.
The fact is, I will accept it, and he will too. You know why?
You know why?
Once the winner is declared, after all the ballots are counted, all the votes are counted, that'll be the end of it. That'll be the end of it. And if it's me, in fact, fine. If it's not me, I'll support the outcome, and I'll be a president not just for the
Biden is so fucking cringe. Biden's so cringe. Biden's so cringe.
Gentlemen, you say that's the end of it? This is the end of this debate?
Honest ballot count.
We're gonna-
Honest ballots. I have to make sure the debate's over, but I still don't support. It'll be months.
Vice President
It will be
Biden,
months.
interesting hour and a half. I want to thank you both for participating in the first of 3 debates that you have agreed to engage in. We want to thank Case Western Reserve University and the Cleveland Clinic for hosting this event. The next debate, sponsored by the Commission on Presidential Debates, will be 1 week from tomorrow, October 7th, at the University of Utah in Salt Lake City. The 2 vice presidential nominees, Vice President
Woo!
Kamala Harris.
That's gonna be a disaster.
And that night, we hope you
I
watch.
can't wait.
Until
I
then,
can't wait.
thank you, and good night.
Oh, what a shit show.
Clearly, this was
Oh god, no, Wolf Blitzer. Damn! Dammity damn. I'm just watching the camera while they're still on there. But, wow, fucking we. God, Melania's so gross. So, I am going to go pee, and then I'm going to set up a new stream. And, so, I'm going to go pee, and then I'm going to set up a new stream, and I'll do a post-debate show. So, give me a few minutes, give me like 5 to 10 minutes. I will be back, and we will discuss what the fuck just happened. Because to be honest, I don't actually know. I don't know what just happened. I don't know. I don't know. Much faster when you